Hi everybody, it's David here. Welcome back to the channel. I've been meaning to make this video for a while. As you can see, it's about SMERFs. So this is some research which has been done. You can see by the Google team here, perhaps some other researchers in here. And it's about a new way to render effectively light fields, or what you can generate with Gaussian splatting, or what's it called, NERFs. So neural radiance fields. So that's a way of creating, in a way, a three-dimensional model, although it's not a mesh, it's a radiance field, which has been out for a while now, but this research is about rendering it in an efficient way. So if you looked at NERFs before, Gaussian splatting, you'll see that typically rendering these scenes is very process intensive, so mostly GPU, and you couldn't really render them very well on a mobile device, and certainly not in VR or in a browser very easily. And this technology here is really about that. So first of all, encourage you to go and read the paper, but the coolest thing, and what I'm going to show you in the video here, are these demonstrators. So let's start with London. And you can see there's some quality presets. So let's do desktop with strong GPU. I've got a 3080 Ti here. You can see it loads in the source images. So this suggests to me this was made from taking 471 images. I don't know anything about the production pipelines. Are they 360 images? Are they a drone video? I really don't know. And if we click here, we can effectively use our mouse to walk around this scene. And as you can see here, it's running at 60 frames per second. If I do F11, we'll get full screen. No, doesn't quite like that. But yeah, as you can see, it's super, super smooth. The quality of this data here really depends where the pictures were taken. So this might have been something that was in the distance, for example, where you get this kind of slightly mushiness. But you can see here, some things are a bit more clear as you get closer. And you can see it was taken in generally bad lighting conditions, which is one of the amazing things about radiance fields. So yeah, what do we have here? We have a large scene. We can move around it at a very smooth frame rate. So 60, probably more, might be on VSync or something like that. I'm not too sure how the browser handles that. You can see here, it's not the cleanest of scans or captures, but one of the unique things about radiance fields is that you see kind of real-time reflections effectively. So you can see the light in the center of my screen here on the corner of the table, like there. As we move to the right-hand side, that light moves to the other side, as it would if you were really there. And that's one of the things that makes these scans feel very real, that the lighting changes as you move around. But just to show you it's a big scan, we'll show you that here they've gone into these rooms, and you just saw a little bit of LOD, or sort of loading in, they call it in the business, where some of the graphics wasn't quite there. And as I moved into the room, it loaded in, and that's part of the algorithm that they've created here for this SMERF rendering. It's also really interesting to see what people in the UK, how they keep their apartments, how bad the heating is. And as you can see there, that wall loaded in. There's nothing behind those rooms there. So that is the London one. Let's go back. And some of these other ones are slightly better quality. So it's, again, it's depending on how they were captured, what kind of capture device, the lighting, all of these kind of things. Maybe they were captured on the same, probably says in the paper. So here's New York. You get a smaller apartment. Clearly, I think this is the researcher's house. I get the feeling that these are clever, intellectual people based on what they have in their house. Some creative things, air conditioning, single glazing. But yeah, as you can see, a very good way to look around somebody's house. I think this technology will replace Matterport and the 360 based sort of photogrammetry technology pretty quickly. As you can see, this is a really good way to look around a property. And I think this technology will work very well in industrial spaces as well. So as you can see here, you're not getting kind of millimeter accuracy, but you can see there that it is technically accurate. You know, everything is where it's supposed to be. You can even see there how the mirror works as a really good example of sort of light field. Actually, one of the interesting things about light fields is you should be able to go into there because it thinks this is another 3D space. So we can actually fly into the mirror, and we're in a nether world. Isn't that cool? Again, fly out the mirror, and that's where we were. But it gives the effect that that mirror effectively works there. You can see that door from this angle, and you can see the cupboard behind. So very interesting technology, running super, super smooth. I'm very interested to see if it runs in VR, so if they can get that to work. It works for large scenes, as you can see there, and it also works for small detailed objects. So again, this is based on how you capture the data. So you can see here 39 photographs. Somebody probably just walked around this like a typical photogrammetry scan. And here you can see the level of accuracy you can have. So you can actually see individual Lego knobs, if you like. So the light is clearly sticking up. These knobs there clearly sticking up, and the same on the side there. So these are objects which are, what's that, 5 millimeters across. So you can get pretty detailed 3D, and it's probably like 1 millimeter accuracy, maybe something like that. In this case, if you do a very close-up scan. So again, running super high frame rate, detailed object. Again, let's go back to the US. So, let's go to Berlin. This was a nice one. Again, this is based on fewer photographs. So the London one was 471, I believe. This is only 39 photographs. So it could have been that these were 360s. I'm not too sure. But again, very good generation of a 3D scene. Very good way to look at a property. Runs super fast. You get that full effect of real-time lighting. Again, it's actually created space in the back of the TV there. But a very good way to understand what a property is like. I think is going to be a very good way to understand industrial spaces. And if you've ever seen the YouTube channel, there's guys who are actually taking NERFs or capturing radiance fields from old movies. So just imagine if you could create a high quality radiance field from an old movie and then walk around it like this in game mode or even in VR mode. So very, very interesting application to get a sense of space. So I fully think this will replace 360 technology for real estate. As you can see why. You've got not only a perfect 360 effectively here, it's not quite as sharp as a 360 photograph, but you can move literally everywhere in this room and get any kind of angle that you want to understand it. It's not a 3D mesh model as we know it, so you can't extract this and put it in a game engine as easily as mesh from photogrammetry, but it's a 3D scene, as you can see here, that you can move around. That's all from me. That is the SMERF viewer. So it's a Google research project where they've basically increased the rendering performance for large real-time scenes or exploration in real-time of large scenes which are generated from radiance fields. That's all from me. Hope you enjoy it. Take care. Bye-bye.